guys, this is your first video on your periodic table of elements, and this is sort of like the basics part one. What I want to do is I want to look at the periodic table and talk about how it's organized, and this is sort of the basis for a lot of your learn from home material. If you look at the word periodic for just a minute, it means repeating, and that's what the periodic table of elements is based on. It's actually based on repeating patterns. So I'm going to write the words here, repeating patterns. And because it's based on repeating patterns, we can make predictions about things we haven't even discovered yet. And it's really interesting if you take a few minutes and you want to dive into the history of the periodic table and you look at what Mendeleev first came up with. He didn't really have a whole lot to work with, but he was able to pick out some very important patterns that we still use today. A couple of other things you need to know about the periodic chart before we start is, if you notice, they have different numbers, and it starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those numbers in the top corner, and that's usually the smaller number, are called the atomic number. And your periodic chart is arranged in order of increasing atomic number. That's why it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the periodic chart and atomic number is going to tell you some more information later, but we're going to save that for another video. Another basic way it's organized is you have rows that go across or are horizontal, and these are called periods. And I'm going to write that here where it says periods, because it says rows are called. And as a reminder, periods are horizontal, so they go that way. If you notice, we have 7 periods. Our first period has hydrogen and helium, and they have the fewest elements out of all the periods that are represented on the chart, because hydrogen and helium, they go there because they have properties with other elements close to them, but they also have some that are a little different, so they were set apart. You're also going to notice when we look, we have 7 periods. We have period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Rows 6 and 7 have a cutoff part that's been brought down here, and this piece we'll talk about a little bit later. They're called the rare earth series, and they have to do with some special properties they have on their own. We also have columns that go up and down or vertical, and these are called groups or families. And I'm going to draw a little arrow here to show you what vertical means. And when I think about groups and families, just have you have properties and characteristics similar to your family, these elements have properties and characteristics similar to theirs. If you take a minute and look, we have 18 groups or families, so I'm going to number them off. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So we have 18 groups and families. Another big basic of your periodic chart is this stair-step line right here, and I'm just going to trace over it so you can see it. Because this stair-step line or this zigzag line is a very important line. It's going to divide the periodic chart. Again, it's going to divide it based on properties, and everything over here are going to be non-metals or have non-metallic properties. So I'm actually going to write non-metals over here. Whoops. So everything to the right of the line is a non-metal, and everything to the left of the line is going to be a metal. So just by looking at that dividing line there on the chart for a minute, you can tell we have a whole lot more metals than we do non-metals. Now, my periodic chart, as you move across from left to right, you also have properties that change. Over here, this, with the exception of hydrogen, this row here is the most metallic, and it's going to move all the way over here to where we have non-metals. And these are the most non-metallic and the least metallic. This part in the middle, or this line here, they're going to be called metalloids. And metalloids are elements that have properties of both nonmetals and metals. There's actually 7 of them, but there's one you need to know that affects your life every day, and that has to do with silicon, because silicon is in your computer chips, it's in your phone, it's in your laptop, it's in your device, it's in everything that you have. Alright guys, this is the basic of the periodic chart outlay for what we have. Remember that you have periods which go across, you have groups and families which go up and down, you have metals to the left of the dividing line and non-metals to the right of the dividing line. Elements that touch the dividing line are called metalloids. One of the more specific ones you need to know about is going to be called silicon. Okay guys, if you have any questions, just let me know, and after this you're ready for the periodic table basics part 2.